In this video, I'm going to update something for you to be able to write your name. I noticed from some messages that you have sent me that I forgot to tell you one thing about connecting the letters. So in order to be, able to really write anything, as I told you last time in Arabic, we're going to need also these small things that I'm going to add here. Now, if you have an L, the letter L, okay, and you need to connect a letter alif after it, what we need actually to do is to write the L at the beginning as we learned it with a line, and then connect the alif to it. So what we get actually is this symbol, and it's really ugly to watch, and we actually cannot understand which is the L and which is the alif. So this is why what Arabs did is, whenever we have an L plus an alif, we created this symbol, writing the L normally, and then the alif leaning inside of it. So in this case, I am sure that this is the L here. This is my L, and this is the alif. The alif is always leaning. So whenever I have L plus alif, L plus alif, I have to write L and alif leaning, and whatever thing that comes afterwards, I write it here. So for example, if I have lab, something that is lab, I write the B here. Alright, I disconnect it because the alif, as you know, doesn't connect from the left. Alright, so this is one thing that I wanted to tell you. Number two is, whenever I have a name of somebody or something in Arabic that begins with a or I or u, just like Amir, which is a prince and it's a name, just like Ibn, which is son, and just like Udrub, which is hit somebody or beat somebody. So whenever I have a or o or u, doesn't matter, or e or I at the beginning of the word, like orange, for example, like apple, or like Easter, I have to use these words. For the alif, I have to write, for the A, sorry, I have to write an alif and put a hamza above it, and then put a fatha. So what happens is the hamza makes the glottal sound a, and then the small fatha, this small short vowel, makes sure that I'm pronouncing a and not I and not u. Now, since the hamza doesn't stay alone, I can never write it like this alone, so it takes always the alif to help her, right? So the alif here is only for helping the hamza to stand by itself. Hamza is the interruption of the of my breath, all right? Now, if I begin the word with oo or oo, I write the alif, even if it's an A, but it doesn't make the sound A here. It helps only the alif, the hamza, sorry, to stand by itself. And then I put a small oo sound here. So in this case, I pronounce oo at the beginning, and oo. So the thing that changes everything are these small symbols, these small short vowels. If you remember the vowel lesson, here it is. I'm sending the link, or here. You will be familiar with what I'm saying now if you have looked at the vowel lesson. Alright, so if I want to begin a word with E, so if your name is Emmanuel, alright, Emmanuel or Emanuele, you should begin with putting the hamza, the alif, the hamza, and the short vowel E, which is below the line, below the letter. Right, so this is my A. The only thing that changes everything for me are the small symbol, the small vowels. So this is an A, this is an U, and this is an I. Alright? If your name begins with a V sound, since we don't have a V in Arabic, so what we do is we choose the letter F, which is the fa. So if your name is Violet, you would write it as Violet. If your name is Sylvia, and this is for Sylvia, you would write it as Sylvia. Alright? Now when we write it, we will never, since it's a name and it's known as it's Sylvia or Violet, we never even if we read it Sylvia, but we actually try to imitate even the Western sound, right? The Western name, Sylvia, just to say the way it is, okay? Colgate, for example, Colgate, I write it as Colgate because we don't have a G sound, we have a J, but I never say Colgate, I say Colgate, right? Colgate must be so funny. So the same thing with the letter P. Since we don't have a P sound in Arabic, we don't have the letter P. So what is the most similar sound to the P is the B. Alright, so if I have the word Paulo, I would write it as Paulo. Okay, Paulo. But I pronounce it, when I read it, I pronounce it as Paulo. But many Arabs, my sisters, for example, are stuck with the B sound, so they would call the Pepsi Bipsi, the Pope, which we call it Il Papa. It must be Il Papa, or you call it Il Baba. Right? So many things that are still with P, people, we say Bible. Many times, our people tend to also pronounce them as a B, since we don't have a P sound, okay? So people that are not in contact with the Western word, with the P language, let's say, they might pronounce anything that has a P as a B, since we write it also as a B, all right? And what else? What letters we don't have? V and P and G, right? So if I want to say English, the letter G doesn't exist in Arabic. The strong sound G, G, G. So we decide to use either the G, إنجليزي, instead of إنجليزي, or the letter kaf, like a K sound, and we would say Inkleasy instead of Ingleasy, alright? So you can, when it comes to a G sound, very strong, G, G, you would try to transcribe it in Arabic, or with a Jim or with a kaf, right? J or K. Now for Egyptians, it's not a problem because Egyptians can easily pronounce the G sound. Actually, they don't have a Jim. So if you want to say the word Jamil, beautiful, Egyptians would say Gamil, Gamil. I'm sure you would hear it also in Arabic music, because Arabic music is mostly comes from Egypt, and songs that contain Jamil are always pronounced as Gamil, Gamil. Right? Only Egyptians can pronounce the G, not can. Only Egyptians pronounce the G in their language as a G and not as a Ja. The rest of the Arab world pronounce it normally as a Jim. Ja, ja, ja. Alright, next note is, one girl sent me asking she couldn't write her surname, which is Wielden, okay, Wielden. Now, she was wondering how to write the W, the H, the E, the L, the D, the O, the N. So what I wanted to tell you is, in Arabic, we transcribe the sound of the name. Here, there's no H sound, there's no H when I say Wielden, Wielden. So you never have to go and transcribe this into an H. Okay, so we just transcribe, we just write whatever we hear if it's not a non-Arab name. So in this case, Wielden, I'm not going to write it, but I'm going only to help you, because I'm going to let you write it for me. But we would use the W, one E, because the double E are just Wielden, which is an E sound. The E sound, it's a Ya. I'm going to erase it very quickly, so I don't want you to cheat. Right, so it's a Ya, and then Wheel, and then D, and then O, will do, and then the N. So you don't have to transcribe every letter in your surname, just the pronunciation. We just write the non-Arabic names the way we pronounce them. And one important thing about this is, I advise you to use always long vowels when your name is a non-Arab name. Let's take, for example, Robert or Roberto. So let's take Roberto as an example. What I need is a Ru, and as you hear, the sound is very short, so I would have chosen the short U with this name and then right away the B. No, what is better is to choose long vowels and not short vowels, even if it's not Ruby, روبيرتو, but choose long vowels when your name is non-Arab name. This easier simplifies our understanding of what is written of the name. All right, so if I write the U here, I'm sure it's ro, and then I get the B, and then the ya, long vowel, ruby, r, ta, and wow. So this is the way we write Roberto. Note that I have put very long vowels: R, U, B, E, R, T, and U. So I put Rubirtu, but this is the easiest way you can write your non-Arab name. All right, so if your name is not Arabic, Rubirtu, you just use long vowels. Sarah is the same. I'm giving you some hints of the guys that send me messages, but I want you to try to write your name. So now these were the most important things that I wanted to tell you before you try writing your names, because I got many messages of people hesitating to post their video response or not, and sending me private messages on asking me some things before they send the video response. So I wanted to make clear these points, these small points for you, and now it's your job to send me the video responses. And don't worry if you make a mistake. It's we're learning. I mean, people learn from their mistakes, and it's fun, it's just fun. So don't worry if you try to write me your name and it's wrong. It doesn't matter. I will tell you the correct answer later. It doesn't matter. So okay, so now I will be waiting for really your video responses. I hope you liked this. It was only to make clear for you some small things about you being able to write anything in Arabic, and especially your non-Arab name. Alright, so I'll see you in the next lesson, and ma'as salam.